All right. I think we're live. I went live like a minute early just so I could make sure everything's set up. I want to make sure we're good to go for the 50-minute Nintendo Direct that's coming up. How's everyone doing? How are we doing today? What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? Good, good, good. Yep, we got half an hour before the Direct starts. And I just wanted to make sure I was set up here. I have this in like this small window form here with the live chat going here for this is for Nintendo's page. Oh, there we go. Oh, good. 30 minutes. I was waiting for this to happen for them to actually put this up so I can size it up so we get a nice big there we go. Nice big image of it there. All right, good stuff. And yep, it is sized up correctly. Very good. I haven't streamed in a while because we haven't had anything to really stream much. We've had like, well, we've had like a State of Play and we had an Xbox thing, but like it's been 531 days, I think is what it was, since we had our last full Nintendo Direct. Last time we had a full Nintendo Direct, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was revealed. So it's been a minute. It's been a bit, but I'm excited. I will tell you, and this is an interesting situation that's actually happened here. I'm not really sure how this happened, but a solid portion of the Direct appears to have leaked online. Like, a lot of the announcements apparently are there. Oh, Mike and Ayers at GamerDoc. That was another life, man. That feels like forever ago now. When I worked there. Nick254, which game are you hoping to see today? I want to see something out of Metroid. I don't know if that's going to happen, though. It would be really cool. Anything. 2D Metroid, Metroid Prime Trilogy, even a one more thing with Metroid Prime 4. Just even if it's like a CGI trailer, just to let us know that it's at least going smoothly. That would be my hope. I think you're gonna see something Zelda related here, absolutely. Not the okay. So some of the game lineup reportedly leaked, but not all of it. They're missing some stuff off of that list, is what I'll tell you. Tony Murphy, what's your wildest prediction that'll definitely not happen? Metroid Prime Trilogy. Classy Phoenix with a cool sticker there. Metroid Prime. I have to predict Metroid Prime Trilogy till the end of time, until it happens, basically. Yeah, I won't spoil anything. Hits overhype Ninja Gaiden Trilogy on Switch. Let's get it. That would be a cool announcement, wouldn't it? Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. Just a nice little compilation on a cartridge. That would be awesome. It's been a while since we've had a Ninja Gaiden game on like a cartridge from Nintendo. We had technically had a cartridge for the Vita, right? And we had it. Well, no, we had it on the DS, I guess. Antony got an exam in an hour, so I won't be able to watch the whole thing. Wish me luck, gamers. Good luck on the exam, Antony. Pokemon will have their own Direct, yes. I think the Pokemon Direct is, say, the 17th? Next week, you think? I mean, next week is when isn't next week when the actual anniversary is? It's like the 25th or 26th, something like that, right? So they'll probably have it coincide with that. Next week seems like a good guess, is what I'll say. Truly Epic says, what happened to Film Wave? I wanted to see the impressions of the boys' finale. Looking forward to a big Direct, though. A lot of us got busy. Jordan's been doing quite a bit of stuff, though, on his own. So I wouldn't mind doing more Film Wave stuff when people become more free, and maybe we will, because I'm sure as movies start to come back out, and like movies just like kind of fell off a bit. Like we didn't really have any. We had a lot of streaming stuff, which was cool. So I would like to get back to that, though. Aldemar says, what do you think about the Mario Kart leaks? I won't talk much about any of the leaks, really, if I can help it, because we are only 27 minutes away from just seeing everything. So any of those leaks we can circle back to in after the Direct happens, and I'll be talking about it in Newswave surely tomorrow. AOG Firepower, Skyward Sword for sure. All right, so you know what? I would like to see Skyward Sword have a re-release or a port over to the Switch, and they remove the need for the motion controls. I think that'd be good. Thomas says, final prediction, what Zelda game will be revealed? Probably either a collection or Skyward Sword. Real 2. Who do you got for Smash? I mean, the obvious answer for Smash, I think a lot of people are pointing at, is Crash Bandicoot, and that would be cool, right? I mean, that's a character that goes so far back, right? So like that one makes sense to me to have Crash go in there. I mean, back in the day, Crash went to Nintendo's headquarters and took a megaphone and yelled at Nintendo. So that would be cool if that was one of the levels. It won't be, but that would be funny. John says, hey, Spawn, do you ever get burnt out making news waves when there is no news to report? As someone who watches daily, I need to know. Not really. I have a good setup for it now, good process for it, and I get a lot of help from Evan, who does a great job editing the video. It's just a lot of like writing and researching and putting everything together. But no, I don't really got burned out for it. It's kind of part of my routine. Like apparently it's become part of a lot of people's routines, so I'll make sure people remember it's at least a weekday. Classy Phoenix says, hope we get a 3-game Zelda pack like Mario. I would like that too. But really, I hope they're creative with the games they put in there. I know people would be fine if it was Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, but I'd like to see something a bit different. Throw some of the handheld games up on there. That'd be cool. Christopher says, did you see the new Xbox feature? Yes, I like the idea of them targeting frame rate for games that had like frame rate caps, like that were stuck to 30 frames per second. I like that idea quite a bit. Sam says, Jump Rope Bunny in Smash. Technically, it's a canon Nintendo character now, so at least a trophy or something, in the game. Something fun. Or a spirit. Something fun. Daniel says, did you hear about GTA 3 Vice City and San Andreas remaster rumor? That I think would be really cool to see, because Take-Two mentioned this at their investors meeting, that an investor asked, hey, you have some of these older games, you should probably think about porting them over because you can make money from it. And they seemed very happy with that question. So Thomas says, what time do you wake up to record Newswave? I record Newswave the night before, actually. And we edit it at night. So we try to get everything in we can. Sometimes after 9 o'clock, because I generally understand. I generally know that some companies like Nintendo will release news at 8 to 9 p.m. my time. So there have been times where I've waited till after that to record, and then we edit it for the next morning. Paul says, never played any of the Metroid games, and I'd really like to give it a try, so I'm hoping for the trilogy to be announced. I think a lot of people are in that situation right now where they didn't play Metroid Prime on the GameCube or on the Wii, but they saw how much excitement was around 4, and they want to try it out. Like they want to get into it, but they don't really know where to go for it. Like, do I buy an entire GameCube? Do I try to track down the trilogy? Do I get a Wii U so I can get it digitally? It's like, it's a whole thing. So I like the idea of them finally making that a reality and bringing the trilogy over. I believe it would sell well enough on people hyping it up and getting excited as well. Like people who have never tried Metroid Prime will be like, maybe I'll grab it and see how this goes. So yes, any excitement we can get around Metroid would be great, because I really think Metroid needs it. It's never sold that well, and the Switch has this effect where when something releases on the Switch, it just sells massively. Like it almost doesn't matter if it's from Nintendo and it's first party, it does better on the Switch than it has on any other Nintendo platform. I mean, especially the Wii U. Like, who would have thought that they released Mario Kart 8 again and it quadruples the Wii U sales, and those were really good. Those were like 8 million or so. So yeah, the Switch is like in a whole nother like league when it comes to selling these games. Massim, it's been 84 years or 531 days. Yeah, it's been a while. It's hard to believe that it's been this long since a full Nintendo Direct, but that's just the situation we've been in the past year and a half. So it's nice to get some of this normalcy, but I think that's the other excitement for a lot of people is it's been so long since we've had this Direct feeling. It was like literally before like the pandemic and all the situation going on now. This kind of is like a nice escape too. So David says, I just want Apex Legends gameplay. I think they'll touch on Apex Legends here. Even if it's like in a sizzle reel or something, we'll see it probably being played on the Switch. Commander Kronk says Sega compilation with Odagai 1 and 2 and Gun Valkyrie. Won't happen, but I can dream. Wow. That's an interesting idea. Daniel says Fall Guys is coming to the Switch. You heard it first. Still alive says, hey Spawn, what video game do you think has the most well-written story that you've played, one that you might consider deep? That is a good question. One that you consider deep for a story. You know, the story I really liked from back in the day was the original Knights of the Old Republic. I think it's just because of the twist ending they had. Not that it was particularly deep, but it was one of those games where it kind of gave you that Sixth Sense vibe. But really well-written story. It would probably end up being a Final Fantasy, to be honest, because we still talk about some of these Final Fantasy games. I did like Final Fantasy X and kind of the idea, and I guess that's a spoiler now, even though it really so long ago, the idea of what Tidus really was at the time, towards the end when they revealed it. I thought that was a pretty cool story there. Ian says, hoping for a Nintendo Land port or a 3D Donkey Kong game. I would like to see a 3D Donkey Kong game. That would be cool. Jake says, what do you think the chances are of getting a Zelda Maker game? Zelda Maker would be good, but it would be so hard to get people to show that their dungeon is completable by most people and wouldn't get you stuck, you know? It's easier with 2D Mario, but like a Zelda dungeon with how many twists and turns and keys and all this stuff that'd be interesting for them to figure out. Sergio says, hi Spawn, big hug from Mexico. What game do you think will be shadow dropped today? Republic Commando. And maybe another, no, probably Republic Commando. And I have a feeling they have some other, I'm not gonna say small, but smaller third-party game, like a AA game or something, probably lined up. I think there'll probably be at least 2 shadow drops here. A demo too. You could see a demo. Like, what if No More Heroes 3 got a demo? That'd be kind of cool. Stephen White says, I'm hoping for Metroid Prime. Daniel says, hi Spawn, House Spawn Wave. How long did it take for your YouTube to take off? You have a great channel. Always enjoy your content. Thank you. I don't know. When I was first posting videos, I remember the Switch was like really first being talked about. And I was like, oh, I'll go over some of this stuff here. And I don't know, since then it just kind of like picked up from there. It wasn't long. I know that. But the Switch there was a lot of interest in the Switch when I was first starting out. So the Basement Band says, 1 Zelda, 1 Metroid, and 1 Kid Icarus game. That's my call. I would like to see Kid Icarus have a bit of a revival here. I'd like to see Sakurai do something other than Smash. I know people really like him doing Smash Brothers and stuff. I just feel like he's done it for so long now and focused on it so much that even he might want a bit of a change of pace. And he's not necessarily tied to Nintendo completely as Sora Limited. He can go work on whatever, but like, I would love to see him try a Kid Icarus game again or just something different. You know, he has a lot of talent, so it'd be cool to see him do something other than Smash. Thomas says, thoughts on N64 emulator coming to Nintendo Online and Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask being released alongside of that. Well, I have the Nintendo 64 shirt on right now because I'm trying to will Nintendo into revealing another system for the online service that I feel like really needs a jolt currently. Some of the Super Nintendo games they just released today, just people didn't care. It was just, all right. So if they could come up with something that would get people excited again, like Nintendo 64 games being added, like Game Boy games, but like Pokemon Yellow being added with some other stuff as well, like that would get people at least excited again for Nintendo Switch Online. So that would be nice to see that. Let's see. We have 14 minutes? 14 minutes. And we'll make sure we get the audio and stuff right. All right, so here's the big question. What do they start us off with? How do you start this direct out? Do you start out with the Smash character? I feel like you could. I feel like you could just start with a Smash character. What if they have 2 Smash characters here? We're talking about 1. What if they have 2? But I feel like you start with a Smash character just to kind of get people real hyped up, you know, for the direct. Because whenever they announce a Smash character, people are always really hyped about it. So I think that's a good way to start it. Smash, yeah. Smash is... or they could start with No More Heroes 3 or just something like new from a third party. Or maybe they start with like a first party game like a Pikmin 4 or a Mario Golf or something. That's what we need. We need another sports game. We need like a Mario Strikers, which is what I'd love to see, or Mario Golf. Mario Golf got talked about a lot in prediction videos this past day or two. So Jordan says, thoughts on Monster Hunter Rise on Switch. I played it. I haven't been like a big Monster Hunter fan. I played Monster Hunter the most I would say on the PSP back in the day, and there were so many of them. It was, oh, I'd have to remember exactly which one it was. I remember playing it there, and I thought the idea of Monster Hunter was cool, but it always felt clunky. I think with the new mechanic in this newer Monster Hunter game, Rise, I feel like there's more agility in the game, and I'm at least interested to pursue it more than I have with Monster Hunter games in the past. So I'll check it out a bit more. And okay, Daniel says, I am hoping to be surprised with a new system for Nintendo Online. My dream system would be GameCube. Thanks for consistent content. I would love to see GameCube as well, but I feel like Nintendo is going to keep that in their back pocket, mostly because they can still technically remaster some of those games and they would work today. So that's almost why I don't think they do, or they feel the need to break away the systems from the online if they can make the online more robust, and the Nintendo libraries or something like that becomes its own subscription service like Game Pass is to Microsoft's Xbox Live Gold, kind of. Brian says GoldenEye 64 online for the Switch, including level creation and complete revamped single player. Got to get Nintendo on board with that one. Jack says Mother 3. You know, I would love to see Mother 3 happen. Nintendo is probably concerned about the backlash they would receive from that for a PR standpoint in the US, just because of some of the topics it deals with. But I kind of feel like they could put Mother 3 out and then open with some sort of thing on screen that's like, hey, this was made a while ago. This doesn't necessarily represent our views for a corporation. Whatever they got to put out there to distance themselves from some of the themes in the game, and then just put it out. Like, I think that would be fine. People might be mad for like a day, but then they'll be like, well, we asked for this. So Gum says, I like chocolate milk. All right. Still Alive says, why do you think Earthbound hasn't been added to Nintendo Switch Online yet? I have no idea. That seems obvious. Like, they could have thrown that in with 2 of those other games that no one cared about, and it would have been a good month for a lot of people. You know, so like they could have put that out, Earthbound, and then like whatever else they had there for Super Nintendo and Nintendo, and people would have been excited. It's strange they don't at least have one of those games ready to go alongside of some of those like mid games just to kind of make up for it. Jacob says, let's be real, 45 minutes from the new Smash character and 5 minutes devoted to indies. For real, though, I hope it's a great Direct. I think people are just excited to have a Nintendo Direct right now. So even if it's like a middle-of-the-road Direct, I think people will still be really happy that they're back. Because a lot of people genuinely thought that the Direct was done, like Nintendo was done with Directs. So I think the fact that it exists right now is making people really happy. Derek says, you need more cool designs for your clothing line. We're still working on some, Derek. Evan's always on something with the different clothing designs. His latest shirt, the Spawncast 200 special, is pretty cool. It has everybody who's been on the podcast between episode, I think it's 101 and 200 on there, and it was really cool looking. 43 says, thoughts on a DK64 remake / remaster? You know, Donkey Kong 64, if they did a remake or remaster of it, I think would be a cool game to just throw on the Switch. I don't know how well that game would age nowadays, though. That would be something you put into a compilation, much like we got with Mario 3D All-Stars. The problem is there haven't been a lot of Donkey Kong 3D games, so that would be kind of tough. We have 12 minutes. 12 minutes. All right. Death Proof says, cancel culture folks are not the target consumers. The target consumers are old people like me who are excited for something like a Mother 3 to show up because it's Mother 3, and the game's good. I have a Game Boy Advance cartridge of it here. It's up there. And I've played through the game 2 or 3 times now. It is a good game, so. I like the darker style games from Nintendo, though. Like, I really like Majora's Mask. I think that is a very good Zelda game. And Mother 3 deals with a lot of dark themes, and I just really like the game itself. So I hate to say it probably will never come out here, but I would like to see Nintendo just do it so I can buy it officially. Do a special edition, too. Why not? Go all in on it. Real Made Real says, imagine a Beyond Two Souls Part 2 Quantum Dream Nintendo collaboration. Wow. that is quite a prediction there. Game Tracks says, you inspired me to start modding Game Boys and consoles, so thank you, and I hope GBA games hit Nintendo Online. Game Boy Advance. Okay, so what do you think would hype people more? Nintendo 64 or Game Boy Advance? Because I feel like Game Boy Advance would, since you would technically say the library of Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games, not just Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color, right? You'd assume that any of those could be added. I kind of feel like I'd rather them do Game Boy Advance over Nintendo 64 first. I think that'd be good. Yes, it's those modded Game Boys, by the way, are awesome. Like when you put it together, you've done it yourself, and you look at it, and it just looks so much better. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool, man. That's good to see. Game Tracks, keep it up though, because you can get a nice collection of those going for all the different Game Boy generations. Adam says, "Open with baby legs and smash end with regular legs." Danny says, "Would recommend playing Metroid Prime today." Oh, playing Metroid Prime today. Yeah, I like Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime's still a good game. Like, from that, what's interesting about Metroid Prime on the GameCube, if you go back and play it now through one of the HDMI adapters, as an example, just on the native system, it looks like an Xbox 360 game at times. Like, they were really, Retro was, at the time, on a roll with Metroid Prime 2, or 1, 2, and then even 3 on the Wii. I really pushed the hardware in those systems. Shane says, we need all the Zelda games on Switch, even if they come in multiple collections. Just put them all on the Switch. Not a bad idea, considering we believe that this Switch would be backwards compatible with the next Switch going forward. So, yeah, why not? Then we can have all the Zelda games on the next Switch, just through backwards compatibility. Danny says, would recommend playing Metroid Prime today. Yep. Connor says, Zelda Minish Cap. Let's go. Also, Danny, Metroid Prime on the GameCube isn't even that expensive. So if you buy it and you own the game, technically you can legally emulate it through Dolphin on your PC. And they have some really cool texture packs and stuff for it. It looks very good. Minish Cap would be awesome, Connor. I would like to see Minish Cap. They should do a remake of Minish Cap, much like they did with Link's Awakening. Oh, Minish Cap was good. Christian says, what do you think are the chances of us getting Diddy Kong Racing 2? Probably pretty low. That'd be interesting. Nintendo is in a weird position because they don't really need a lot of racing games that are like Mario Kart, which is one of the reasons people have speculated that F-Zero has not made a return, because it would just compete with Mario Kart, which is like their best-selling game. So why would they do that? They'd have to come up with something different for F-Zero to exist. Random Anime Gamer says, how would you feel if they announced a full 3D Kirby game for the first time? I'd be very excited for them to do something different with Kirby. I know people like the 2D Kirby and all that. That's fine. But like something unique with Kirby like that, I would really be interested in seeing. Nick says we need a custom Robo HD. I'm always interested in seeing Nintendo try new things with their franchises. So a 3D Kirby game in like 2021 would be very interesting on the Switch. We need a new custom Robo HD. I actually played that a bit on the GameCube. That's a pretty good game. I was a little surprised on that. TCG says, I'd say N64 back. Because GBA is like 95% Super Nintendo remakes and ports. That's a good point there. You're right. Especially if we get better frame rates out of the 64, as well as better looking visuals from it. Frame rates is probably the big thing. Like if we get the 64 put on the Switch, and just because it's on the Switch and the emulator set up better and all of this, we get significantly smoother gameplay, I think that would be really exciting to a lot of people. Goose, Persona game 3 or maybe 4 Golden. Atlas and Sega, they are such a strange company. 4 Golden goes on Steam, explodes in sales, and they have to explain to their investors that they had no idea that was going to happen. It's like, really? Like, I knew that. Everyone knew that was going to happen. So in a world that makes sense, yes, Persona 4 Golden would be in this direct. But this is Atlas we're dealing with, and who knows? It's so weird because it was on the Vita. It's already set up for handheld play with a smaller screen in mind that's not like, a big blown up TV. But now it also has big monitors and stuff that are being accounted for here. So it's just, it'd be nice, but it's Atlas, so who knows? GC says Oracle's games in a remastered double pack. They got to do it physically though. I need a physical copy of that. Obama Crocodile says, I'm getting a Xbox One S. Is it too late to get it? A One S. You know what? I feel like you might as well get a Series S because really the pricing is, One S's are, I feel like you find a 1S, they're still like $150 to $200. I would just go for the Series S if you can grab it. I know it doesn't have like I guess if you want the Blu-ray functionality, you'd want the 1S, but the Series S is much more capable. Although the 1S is a good 4K Blu-ray player, so if you need that too, that's not a bad deal then. It was Jacob. Any update on your Panasonic GameCube? Love those types of videos. Can't seem to find your original currently. Hope all is well. We want Sora and Smash. The Panasonic GameCube? Yeah, I have one. Oh, it's actually at the office. That's right. Yeah, I have one. I ended up getting it all working and everything. It doesn't look the prettiest, though, inside because some of the plastics I can't find anywhere. I thought about buying another one that's just completely busted on the outside just so I can take some of the inside parts out and just kind of finish putting it all together so it looks really nice. Like I have some cables just kind of hanging in there because I don't have the clips or anything for them. Gavin Death says, chances of getting Donkey Kong Game & Watch 40th Anniversary Edition. They did a Game & Watch a few months ago for Mario. It's still very easy to find in stores, by the way. That could, you know what, that would be an interesting thing to see them continue on with, is that we get a Game & Watch like every holiday or something, just of different ones. Why not? I mean, I don't know what kind of money they made on that, but it's a cool thing to collect. Adam says, what do you do for a first-person Metroid Fusion remake? Ooh, interesting. I don't know. I mean, that's a I don't know. I kind of like the idea of just sticking 2D with 2D, but what if they did a hybrid? What if they did a 2D Metroid that then would turn into like a first-person Metroid Prime style in different sections? You kind of move around that way, and it's something out of the Fusion line. Oh, they could do some interesting stuff with that. Kat says, do you think we're going to get Octoling as a Echo Fighter? I don't know. You know what would be really cool for Smash is if they did something completely out of left field. They just did Sephiroth. I put out the idea of Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. That way everyone can ask, who is that when it's going on. But a lot of people are expecting Dante or Crash or Doom Guy. But Lloyd Irving was one of the most voted on characters in a poll that they put out in Japan around the time of Smash Ultimate coming out in its first year. So I guess you never know. The Bad Gamer, just need me a Golden Sun Games port 4 and Golden Sun 4, just saying. I feel like they forgot about Golden Sun, which is weird because that could be a franchise that would, I think, do pretty well now if they put the resources into it. The unimpressed 90s kid. Why aren't the Arkham games on the Switch? You know, I don't know. That's another one. It's like the Arkham games would probably do pretty well on the Switch as well. If I was a publisher or developer, my game would work on the Switch and I felt confident porting it over, I'd be all over. I mean, at this point, 80 some odd million people own a Switch. It's like, why wouldn't you run headfirst into that kind of install size and start dropping your games on it? But who knows? I'm sure there's going to be quite a few third-party games here, so maybe we'll see some interesting plays. In fact, we have just over 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. How many people are waiting here? They have 500,000 people in that Nintendo Direct room right now waiting for this thing to start. Wow. The hype is real. When the Direct starts, I'm going to be focusing on it, so any super chats or anything that come through, I will touch on at the end of the Direct and all of that, so we can all kind of pay attention and see what's going on. Nick says, what reveal would leave your entire studio in an upside-down mess? That is a good question. You know what? Maybe Halo on the Switch, just because that would be such a massive like event, because it would see Microsoft's biggest character go to another platform like the Switch. But and also the fact that probably won't happen, but that would probably be it. That would be the one. Have Halo go to the Switch. Was Jacob any update on your... Oh, yep, got that one. Spooky, who even is Lloyd? That's what I mean. That Lloyd Irving would be cool. Brave Fencer Musashi ported and Dart for Smash. That's from Corin Ware. Brave Fencer Musashi was a good one that people forgot about. Let's get that over. Let's bring that one over. Like I said, bring it all over. Although we still only have one Tales game, by the way, on the Switch. I don't get it, but yeah. There you go. See? Just for Spooky. Bring over Tales of Symphonia. Let's get that on the Switch, too. Let's do it. Ah, boy. About to get started here. Only 1 minute, actually. Almost 10,000 people here watching. Thanks to everyone stopping by. I'm hoping for a good direct. You know what? Just the fact that we got one does bring some normalcy back, which is nice. But here's hoping they have something really cool here to show us. Hoping for something Zelda related. Hoping for a good Smash character that everyone will argue about online. And maybe some good third-party reveals and a shadow drop or two. So, all right, there we go. Last super chat I'll read before it starts up, and then I'll hold off until after the direct. Riguni says, excellent professional channel from the beginning. Mario Strikers 2, please, and Ori in Smash. Here we go. What do we have? Okay, the COVID-19 card, just letting us know that. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. Make sure we're good on audio. Might be turning it up here. Have this at... Oh, why did that go down to 40p? What do you think this is? There we go. Okay, we're good. Let me turn this up a little bit. All right, there we go. I had to turn it up to 1080p. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Interesting. This is the Smash character, you think?
One day, Pyra just disappeared. I couldn't find her anywhere. It was as if she vanished off the face of all rest. Without a trace. Where have you gone? I'll find you, whatever it takes. This is where you were. Pyra!
Sorry, Rex. I couldn't tell you. Because... I got an invitation to join Smash!
There's the Smash character. All right. That's what I thought. Okay, cool. Pyra, interesting.
What? I thought I was gonna be in Smash.
Just sit back and leave it to me, Rex.
See, they always
The power of the Aegis!
always out of left field. That's interesting.
Smash Flare!
You powered up your Smash attack with fire?
Flame Nova! Prominence Revolt! Blazing End!
That's genius! You're pretty much owning them, and these are seasoned fighters!
There are no pushovers! Ah! Talk about a tight spot. Mithra? Let
Yeah, I
me
figure have-
handle this.
They're an Echo Fighter or just like a mechanic where you switch between them.
Mithra!
Cutting it close, huh? Hey, were these guys planning on winning? Gee, I feel kind of bad now. Coming through! Lightning Buster! Photonic! Ray of Punishment! Chromata! Foresight!
What? You can even use that?
Right here!
So you two can swap between each other freely?
With serious firepower and blinding speed. Together, nothing can stand our way!
Quite the spectacle, aren't they?
Wait, Gramps?
I've missed this whole body.
Oh, that's a pretty cool looking level, actually.
Oh, look, our friends are here. And there's some more.
I like how Rex is a costume, right?
All mine!
I'll lend you a hand.
Sacred Arrow!
And Pyra and Mithra are characters in the game. Oh, that's cool.
Nailed it.
Sure did! Which is our power!
Oh.
I never never expected to see you two again.
That's kind of cool.
Well, now that you're in Smash, I won't go easy on you.
Ooh, fighting words. You forget. We're fighters too!
Interesting. That's certainly not something people were expecting. That's the thing I'll give Sakurai. He always catches people off guard with these reveals.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I'm Shinya Takahashi from Nintendo. Last year, we delivered some news through a series of Nintendo Direct mini presentations. However, we haven't been able to present a Nintendo Direct in this style for some time. I'm happy to share this Nintendo Direct with you all today. We appreciate your continued support. Okay, what you just saw was the reveal trailer for the newest fighter in the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game, Pyra and Mythra. They originally appeared in the Xenoblade Chronicles series as Rex's 2-in-1 ally. Please look forward to seeing their moveset in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This fighter releases in March, so we hope you'll stay tuned just a bit longer. All right, let's continue with our first batch of Nintendo Switch headlines.
All right. Fall Guys. Okay. Expected. I mean, it makes sense. The game is basically online Mario Party. I wonder if this is a shadow drop. What would be really smart is if they add it to Nintendo Switch Online. Like, as like Nintendo Switch Online paid members just get access to it.
Stumble toward greatness when Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout comes to the Nintendo Switch
Summer.
system
Okay.
Summer 2021.
That makes sense. It'll do well on the Switch.
You have 22 minutes before the solar system is destroyed.
Oh, Outer Wilds. I like
Venture
this
into
was
the
on.
vast reaches of space to
I
uncover
played
the
this on.
secrets
I think it was
left
on Game
behind
Pass,
by
but I
an
remember
ancient
playing this on
civilization.
the Xbox.
You
and it
have
was
22 minutes. After that, the sun will explode and the solar system will be annihilated.
It was an
However,
interesting game.
Everything will reset, allowing you to continue exploring while retaining information you gathered. By repeating these cycles, you'll gradually unravel the mysteries hidden in the universe.
This was an interesting game. Like it's
What
worth
messages
checking out.
will you discover? How can you prevent the sun from exploding? Why is the solar system trapped in an endless time loop? Find out when the critically acclaimed
Okay.
Outer Wilds launches on Nintendo Switch.
That's
Summer
another good one.
2021.
It's another two good games to start off with there.
Put your sleuthing skills to the test in two classic murder mystery games. Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir, and Famicom Detective Club, The Girl Who Stands Behind. Two deep cuts
I
from
never
Nintendo
got into these
history
games.
are coming to North America for the first time. Localized in English and modernized for the Nintendo Switch system. Suspense, drama, and twists and turns await at every corner. You'll be on the edge of your seat as you dive into these deep narratives set in Japan. In one game, you'll solve a complex murder case surrounding a wealthy family in a haunted village while dealing with amnesia. But that's not the only case to crack.
一人で教室にいると後ろから誰かの呼ぶ声がする
In the other game, you'll investigate a supernatural rumor
So these
after
are just
a
like-
mysterious death to
like
free
visual
students
novels?
from a sinister
Yeah.
nightmare.
I never got into like the
Interrogate
visual novel
suspects
style
and hunt
games.
for clues to piece together these chilling conundrums. Can you figure out who the culprit is before it's too late?
助けてここから出して自分の目の前に血染めの少女が立っている
Uncover the deadly truth in Famicom Detective Club,
Okay,
The
May
Missing
14th.
Heir, and Famicom Detective Club, The Girl Who Stands Behind. Coming to Nintendo Switch May 14th. Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop. A new age of battles begins.
Okay. Samurai Warriors 5. There we go. Interesting.
The latest entry
Warriors
in
game.
the Samurai Warriors franchise is coming to Nintendo Switch.
I could never get into the war. I mean, we're
Dive
on the
into
fifth one
history
here.
of the
But
Sengoku period, as the series now shines the spotlight on Nobunaga Oda and Mitsuhide
yeah,
Akechi.
I don't mix very well with
Character
the Warrior
designs
style
and visuals
games.
have been
But
revamped for this installment. Unleash high-octane moves in electrifying 1 versus 1,000 battles. In Samurai Warriors 5, slashing its way onto Nintendo Switch, summer 2021.
starting to load up the summer a bit.
The vast world
Oh.
of Fadiel beckons. After 20 long years, Legend of Mana featuring remastered HD graphics is coming to Nintendo Switch.
That's
You'll
good.
set
That's
off
a good
on
game.
a journey to find the mystical mana tree seen in a dream.
What if there's a shadow drop?
Before discovering the world map is empty. During your travels, you'll acquire special items called artifacts. Place them on the map to bring towns, dungeons, and other lands to life. It's up to you on when and where to place artifacts, as well as how to advance the story. Join forces with characters, each on their own personal quests. Square off against fearsome monsters. Or take a break from adventure and rest up at home. The music has been rearranged for this enhanced version, and you can alternate between the new arrangement and the original soundtrack. Other features have been added, including the ability to turn off enemy encounters, as well as the new minigame Ring Ring Land. Legend of Mana
June
will launch
24th,
on
okay.
Nintendo Switch.
No
June
shadow drops
24th.
yet. Some more Monster Hunter. I think I'm just ready to try the game out at this point. Like, we've seen a lot of it. We even played the demo.
Elder, I have important news.
So it's finally beginning.
Go assemble the villagers. 50 years ago, Kamura village was attacked by the Rampage and Magnum Malo. And we suffered some devastating casualties.
How can we fight against that?
Our hunter's about to face the biggest challenge yet!
Okay.
No! We can't lose this game! Pull yourselves together! You're not getting in!
Let's go, everyone!
Go rampage somewhere else!
You listen to me now!
Here it comes! Watch out for the apex! Do not let it pass!
The rampage. How long do you think it's going to last?
I mean, this game's out in like 5 weeks, so
We should start preparations right away.
We're here to offer assistance.
last big marketing push for it, the Direct.
We must stop the calamity!
Stop playing with us and drop that Switch Pro. I wouldn't expect any hardware here, Frank. There's the hardware. There we go. Okay, the Pro Controller looks good, and I'm not even like a big Monster Hunter fan like that.
That was the latest
Pro
trailer
Controller's
for
cool, though.
Monster Hunter Rise from Capcom. How will our heroes fare against these ferocious monsters? Stay tuned for the latest installment in the Monster Hunter series, launching March 26th. Next, please take a look at this.
Ah, there it is. Mario Golf. All
Fairway
right.
is open once again.
I hope they do a single player better this time, and
Tee off
online
for the latest
multiplayer.
installment of the Mario Golf series, coming to Nintendo Switch.
Super Rush.
Study
Okay.
the wind and terrain. Take your
I
time
like
to
it.
think things through. Then swing.
I'm here for it. All right. This is good. This
Enjoy
is good.
golfing with familiar Mushroom Kingdom characters on courses filled with lush, natural scenery.
I hope the single player is good. That's the only thing. Like, they need to do like what they do on the
Use
Game Boy
features on the
Color.
greens, like a shot gauge,
Or it's
to
like
see
kinda
how
like-
your shot will curve
It's like an
due to
RPG
slopes.
almost.
And a scan that lets you examine a course's terrain.
She was gonna drive her in the.
These features
Oh, I was gonna
can
say.
help you ace your shots. In addition to button controls, you can
Oh,
also
yep,
use
there it is.
motion controls by holding a Joy-Con controller like a golf
people-
club.
People like that on the
Gently
Wii,
swing the
actually.
controller
Like,
to have your character swing in the game.
I remember
letting
Tiger
you
Woods on the
easily
Wii was
enjoy the
super popular because
sensation
of that.
golfing.
Oh, you
On
run?
top of all that,
You run around?
there are several modes with new elements that truly bring the heat to Mario Golf, including this one, Speed Golf. Here, it's
Oh,
always
that's
your
kinda
turn.
cool. So you gotta
Everyone
swing and
tees
then
off
run?
At the same time, then you'll race through the course to reach your
That's a
ball.
clever idea.
Give it another whack to get it closer to the hole, then keep going. Outpace your opponents to come out on top. Your golfing skills aren't the only things at play. Make use of dashes and special shots to beat the competition. Oh, did
Oh,
we
okay,
mention
good. Here we go.
Story mode.
Story mode, thank
As a
you.
Mii character, you'll start out as a rookie and develop your golfing skills while interacting with various Mushroom
Good.
Kingdom characters. Level up with experience
Yep.
points earned during matches.
That's awesome. Okay,
Then
this reminds me then
allocate
of-
points to different stats, allowing you to develop your character
Thank you.
however you'd like. You can also use your
All right,
Mii in versus play.
Reminds
Put
me
your
very much of
golfing
the Game Boy
skills to the
Color,
test
Game Boy Advance
when
style.
Mario
That's
Golf
good.
Super Rush swings onto Nintendo Switch June 25th.
It wasn't
Pre-orders begin on Nintendo eShop after this
junk like the
presentation.
one on the Wii U. Okay. June 25th. Ah, that's.
The latest game in the Mario Golf series.
I kind of want to play
adds
that
new
soon,
gameplay
though.
for
That looks
multiplayer
good.
modes,
That looks good.
as well as the familiar
All
golf
right.
gameplay with easy-to-learn controls.
I like what I'm seeing here.
Please look forward to this game on Nintendo Switch.
All right. That's a good announcement.
Let's move on to more Nintendo Switch headlines.
Check out these games coming to Nintendo Switch.
Hey, Seth, thanks for
Return
joining
to
us.
the unforgiving world of Pandora in Tales,
Tales
from
from
the
Borderlands, we talked
Borderlands.
about this. This
Play
is
as
a
the
link on the ratings
Hyperion
board.
lackey Reese and the quick-witted con artist Fiona as you set out to recover a mountain of cash. Set between Borderlands 2 and 3, this game includes all 5 episodes.
I guess that
filled
means
with
they're gonna
classic Borderlands
See
humor.
some Ace Attorney stuff coming up soon.
Gangsters, bandit lords, and vault hunters are just a handful of the obstacles you'll encounter in this choice-driven narrative adventure. Embark on a wild ride when Tales from the Borderlands launches on Nintendo Switch, March 24th. 32 of Capcom's most beloved arcade classics are coming to Nintendo Switch. Rewind gameplay, adjust game speed or difficulty, and select from a variety of display options to relive that sweet arcade goodness. Get 1943 The Battle of Midway for free, then purchase game packs or the standalone Ghosts and Goblins add-on to build your collection. Local co-op play is also available. Scratch that nostalgic itch when Capcom Arcade Stadium launches later
Strider.
today.
Eh.
Brains.
Ah, Stubbs the
As a
Zombie. There we go.
You
Cool.
just can't get enough of them. In this action game from Aspyr,
That's a good
you'll
game,
build your
okay?
zombie horde and take revenge on the city by turning humans.
Not enough
into
people
your
played it on the
undead
original
allies.
Xbox.
Replenish your bodily arsenal of sputum head.
Yeah, you
gut
throw, like,
grenades, and
body
more
parts at
during
people.
Your grisly mission. This city ain't no match for a dead man. Stubbs the Zombie and Rebel Without a Pulse eats its way onto Nintendo Switch March 16th.
That should be on like all
Pre-orders begin
platforms,
today on
but
Nintendo eShop.
that's cool.
It's Travis Touchdown versus
All right.
Assassins.
There we
Wait,
go. No more Heroes 3.
aliens?
Come on, give us that release date.
Aliens have invaded Earth. Hold up, is this even the right game? Anyway, after annihilating an entire city, the aliens have taken over and now host an intergalactic superhero ranking tournament to decide Earth's fate.
Here we go.
As the crass, beam katana-wielding assassin Travis Touchdown, you'll need to fight your way to the top to save the world.
What's wrong?
Hey, not so fast. To enter each boss fight, you'll have to do some odd jobs around town and earn enough to pay off the entry fee. You'll
All
then
right.
face off against a slew of unusual opponents. Most of them aliens with some crazy tricks up their sleeves. Study their tactics carefully to gain the upper hand in combat.
It looks like they're changing the gameplay styles
With a
up and
new
everything. That's
improved
interesting.
Death Glove, you'll have access to a variety of deadly skills that can be customized and upgraded before each match. The fate of the
Interesting.
world is at stake, so get ready to kick some, whatever aliens have that you can kick. Anyway, it'll all make sense when No More Heroes 3 lands on Earth. Or Nintendo Switch.
That's later than I was
August
hoping
27th.
for. I was hoping that was going to happen like May or June. All right.
Exterminate demons in heaven.
August is all right.
As above,
Neon
so
white.
below. Why do they need assassins in heaven? To do someone's dirty work.
It's like a card first-person shooter parkour game. Interesting.
It's kill or be killed. You won't last long if you can't rely on yourself.
I mean, it's good to get that date for No More Heroes, but it was supposed to come out at the end of last year. I thought it would have been earlier this year. Looks good. That's at least a different, that's a unique
Uncover
game
Heaven's
winner.
mysteries
Okay.
in neon white, coming to Nintendo Switch winter 2021. The DC Superhero Girls are here to save the day.
Hi, everyone. My name's Barbara Gordon. AKA
DC
Batgirl.
Superhero Girls Team
I'm
Power.
always inventing new gadgets to fight crime, like my batarangs and Bathook. This is Supergirl. She's super strong and has heat vision, plus super breath. And let's not forget Wonder Woman, an Amazonian warrior who wields the lasso of truth. Along with our friends Green Lantern, Bumblebee, and Zatanna, we fight evil supervillains to keep our city safe. But we're not just about the super life. We also have our school lives, and trust me, there's never a dull moment at Metropolis High School. Sometimes it'd be nice to get out of class and do some shopping downtown with my besties. Ooh, and maybe take some photos to share on Superstar Post while we're at it. Hey, I got a comment already. Nice. Ooh, and I definitely want to hit up Sweet Justice later. Uh-oh, something really bad is
Interesting.
running
I
the
don't-
city. No one could have seen it coming, but when justice calls, you can count on us to answer.
I don't think
no
I was
matter
expecting
what.
this in the direct.
We've just got to make sure no one figures out our secret identities.
DC Superhero Girls Team Power, heroically sourced onto Nintendo Switch June 4th.
There you go, June 4th.
Ready the juice cannons and prepare for battle.
There's plans. Okay, so this should be on the Frostbite engine, which is a bigger deal than the game itself. Yeah, so this being on the Frostbite engine, March 19th, yep, we saw all of this in the retail listing that was leaked. But the idea of it being on the Frostbite engine is what people are most excited for, because that means that EA actually moved the Frostbite engine over. So it could result in some of their older games coming over, like I don't know, Dragon Age Inquisition, or some of their future games heading to the Switch going forward. Could also mean that some of their sports titles could head to the Switch as well that are on the Frostbite engine. So like how Sean always asks about Madden. They moved a lot of their sports titles to Frostbite, except I think for NHL. There you go.
Who will join you in your adventure? Hint, anyone can. Band together on a quest to face evil and save
Miitopia. Oh.
Miitopia is coming to Nintendo Switch.
Interesting. They're actually doing stuff with the
Miis.
Miis.
Various roles across the kingdom.
Huh. A lot of people don't even like know that the Mii stuff is on the
make
Switch, which is really funny.
Dark Lord.
So they're actually doing something with it.
Makeup has been added as a new feature in this game. Glam up your Miis and get them ready for adventure. There's also a new wig feature, letting you go wild with your Mii creations and make them even more fabulous. In the world of Miitopia, relationships are key. So consider spending some quality time
I think I was
with
expecting
allies to strengthen
Miitopia to
bonds.
show up. That's interesting.
This can give you an advantage during battle.
People really like
If your
Miitopia, I
relationship's
remember.
sour, though, things might take a turn for the
I didn't
worse.
get too into it, but I do know people really liked it.
Whoa! You can have a horse as an ally? That sounds pretty darn good. Care for it, and it'll lend a hand, or poof, in battle. Venture with friends and familiar faces in the lighthearted romp Miitopia. Coming to Nintendo Switch May 21st.
They filled out
Pre-orders
May and
begin
June pretty well
today
so far.
on Nintendo eShop.
They still need like a really big game to release in that time frame.
Super Mario themed items are coming to your island.
This is part of the
Super Mario Brothers
35.
35th anniversary themed
Yeah.
items are coming to the Animal Crossing New Horizons game.
All right, that's going to get people pretty excited.
Familiar items like the Super Mushroom and the Question Block can be ordered in-game as furniture items.
It's a little thing, but that's going to make
Place
people
them
so
however
excited.
and wherever you'd like.
Wow, they got all kinds of Mario stuff.
You can
Wait,
also
does that
place
thwomp
2
actually
warp
like
pipes.
crush you?
Then use them to travel between locations on your island.
Oh, you can put a flag down. That's cool.
Hey, why not try recreating the Mushroom Kingdom?
Oh, people are going to make actual levels in Animal Crossing now, and you got to get to the flag
Free
first.
update for the game launches February 25th.
Yeah.
After downloading it, Super Mario Brothers items will be
next week.
available via Nook Shopping starting March 1st. Keep an eye on the official Animal Crossing Twitter account for the latest information. We hope you continue enjoying life on your island.
It'll probably end up being the best-selling game by the next
How was
report,
that?
most likely.
These collaboration items will be released as part of the Super Mario Bros. 35th anniversary events. Please wait a bit longer.
Are they
for
taking
their
it out
release.
at the end of March?
Speaking of which, last week we had the global launch for the Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's
good game.
Fury game. We hope you enjoyed that Mario adventure as well. Next, we have another game to show you.
HD 2D series.
there's no
That's from
recourse.
the Octopath
Zork.
team.
Never. Ask
Interesting.
Frost will answer for its crimes today.
I like this.
Are these the wages of
Wait a
loyalty?
minute. Wait, that looked
Razed
tactical.
earth and burnt corpses.
Wait a minute.
You and no other must decide how we proceed.
Hold on, that looked like a tactics-based game for a minute
You are
there.
a leader, and must be the beacon others look to when the night is darkest.
Together with these fields, today you burn.
I promise to do
Oh,
all
it is a
my
tactical
power to
RPG.
see us through this safely, every last one of us.
Project Triangle Strategy.
Far, far away lies the continent of Norzilia, comprised of 3 nations and limited deposits of salt and iron. The constant feuds among the nations over these precious resources eventually ignited into a great conflict known as the Salt Iron War. Though the hostilities ceased with an uneasy truce, decades later, the flames of war threatened to engulf the realm once again.
You are all that remains.
Caught in
getting
a
some Final
tangled,
Fantasy
fiery
Tactics
web
vibes
of
here.
Plots and conspiracies, a brave group from Glenbrook fights to save their kingdom from the powers that would orchestrate their downfall.
Our benefit, you say?
In this new tactical RPG, battles take place on terrain with different elevations. A character's attack range is determined by their location and their equipped weapons.
This looks good.
The range can be extended by attacking from higher ground with long-range weapons, such as bows and arrows. Thus, your forces can use the terrain and other elements to gain the upper hand.
That's cool.
An enemy outflanked is susceptible not only to your initial attack, but also a powerful blow from the ally positioned behind the enemy.
What have we here?
Charge into an enemy to send them flying into position for a follow-up attack. We win. Link attacks together by first
Still has
casting
that
ice
Octopath
magic
look.
on the flames to create water terrain.
That they have HD 2D
Then
as a series
electrify
now.
the area with lightning
That's
magic.
great. What's next then? Like
it is of the utmost importance to
an
survey
action
the
RPG?
battlefield before taking action.
Oh, that looks cool. They're going up like a zip line.
Throughout the story, you will be faced with making important decisions in a variety of situations.
Yeah, it's very
Utility,
Final Fantasy Tactics-like.
morality, liberty. Collectively, your decisions will establish your conviction, affecting how the story unfolds and who will join your cause.
Once more, I would ask you plainly. Do we or don't we relinquish Prince Roland to Estrost?
Critical decisions that may determine the fates of nations are settled by vote on the scales of conviction. Use information
interesting.
you've gathered to sway allies toward your favored cause. The story will significantly change based on how the votes are cast.
I wonder how significant it
So
really
they refused
changes.
to relinquish him to us.
Lies! His hand was forced.
As more and more critical decisions are made, your journey may take you down paths divergent
It
from
seems
those
like-
of other players.
It seems like something you're going to play through multiple times over and over again.
Is.
So maybe it's a shorter game, but you play through several times.
Project Triangle Strategy, a brand
title,
new
yeah.
tactical RPG from Square Enix, will launch in 2022.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to be a while, because
Please
they'll
be on
probably
the
do like
lookout for more
a beta
information
for it,
in the future.
like they did with Octopath
After
Traveler, a
this
demo.
presentation,
Whoa, wait a
demo
minute.
version of this game will be available to download on Nintendo eShop. And in the future, we'll conduct a survey to gather player feedback.
Okay, I'm downloading that
We
immediately.
look forward to hearing your responses
That's awesome.
on the demo.
Good stuff. They're doing that just like
Please
they did
look
with the
forward
Octopath.
to future updates on this brand new tactical RPG from Square Enix. Okay, let's see a few more Nintendo Switch headlines.
Yeah, the name might change a bit.
Calling all hunters. Do you have what it takes?
Yep. Star Wars Hunters, coming 2021.
Star Wars Hunters is a competitive, free-to-play online game set between episodes 6 and 7.
What?
Clash in this third-person shooter coming to Nintendo Switch in 2021.
Good thing they showed us a bunch of it.
All right, let's do this.
All right, Zach.
Okay.
Do I look at
Wait,
you or the camera?
Is that supposed to be like Battlefront then?
We all play for different reasons.
Korgan loved battle. Korgan used many weapons. Triple-bladed war axe, spear of misery, Hades' soul-devouring crossbow.
A princess is supposed to lead her people, not be stuck up in some tower waiting for a hero.
In my line of work, bullets are constantly whizzing past you.
Flaming longsword, blade of doom.
Just once I'd like to catch one of them bullets. You know, with my hands.
With this crown, I'm gonna lead my team to victory and kick some serious ass!
Look, it's simple.
Korgan want new weapon.
In Knockout City, I'm like a kung fu master. I can catch bullets! Woo, come get some! Got you!
Look at this.
Hey, Lieutenant! Pass to me!
Roger that, Princess! Here!
Let's find out what sound your face makes!
Incoming! Be the ball! Be the ball! Catch me!
Roger that! Heads up, Your Highness!
Is this an original game from EA for the Switch?
Lost it! Can't believe we're losing to a bunch of dairy farmers! Okay, team. They may have won the battle, but not the war.
Hey, can we redesign our characters? You're not a team if you're not wearing a uniform.
Max, this is a war zone, not a bloody fashion show!
Pass to me!
It does look kind of like
Interview's
Dodgeball.
over. Oh, come on, man, one more game!
Knockout City. It is from EA. It's EA Originals. Okay. Bellin Studios. Oh, there you go. EA did
The
something
fight
for the Switch.
Survival starts now.
Hang on tight, because you're all going to play a little game of fate for me.
From the creators of the Danganronpa and Zero Escape series comes a fight for your life.
that'll make me pretty happy.
Disoriented and
I didn't-
trapped in an
I didn't really get
underwater
into
theme park.
Danganronpa
The
or
12 of
anything,
you,
but-
known as the Go-Getters Club, must now survive this game of fate at all costs.
I don't want to die yet! Sorry to scare you all, but the game is canceled!
The game is suddenly called off. You escape the theme park and get a glimpse of Japan, but everyone's vanished. Set off on a captivating journey across the country that blends side-scrolling action with suspenseful narrative.
The one behind the whole
Well, that went in a
game
different
of
direction than I
fate.
was expecting.
As you make your way back home to Tokyo, you'll alternate between working solo and teaming up with the group to overcome challenges and monsters that stand in your way.
It's like
What
a
awaits you
side-scrolling
all
game.
at the
Huh.
end of your journey? The battle for survival begins in World's End Club, venturing onto Nintendo Switch, May 28th. Wield the powers of Olympus with the physical release of Hades.
Okay. Hades getting a physical release. That's cool.
The critically acclaimed dungeon crawler and recipient of multiple Game of the Year awards.
Interesting that it's an
Is
Nintendo
getting
Direct
a physical
announcement,
release
but
on Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
This version comes with a couple of extras to assist you on your journey out of the underworld. The first is a PC download code for the Hades original soundtrack. It's packed with 2.5 hours of blood-pumping music composed by Darren Korb, known for his work on previous Supergiant titles like Transistor and Bastion. The second is a 32-page full-color character compendium featuring portraits of the game's vibrant cast of gods, ghosts, and monsters, all by Supergiant's art director, Gen Z. And let's not forget the game itself, offering dozens of hours of exhilarating action paired with a compelling story. Escape the underworld again, or for the first time, with the physical version of Hades on March 19th.
okay. There we go.
3
Collectors.
deadly action games.
Ah, there it
one
is. All right,
masterful
cool.
collection.
Ninja Gaiden Show. Okay.
Ninja
This is
Gaiden
good.
Sigma, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge are coming to Nintendo Switch as
I like
the
this.
action-packed
Ninja-
Ninja
okay.
Gaiden Master Collection.
Okay, so it has to be better than the Vita version.
You are the legendary ninja Ryu Hayabusa, fighting against a great evil with battle skills
That's
that are
awesome.
second to none. Wield an arsenal of killer weapons, each offering a playstyle with different set of lethal skills, along with ruthless ninjutsu to swiftly take down enemies. Quickly gauge your opponent's movements while unleashing fast
Good
and
chance to
frenzied
play these if you
combos.
haven't yet. Ninja Gaiden's an
And
awesome
team up
series.
with other super ninjas in your quest to fulfill your destiny. All previous downloadable content, including costumes and game modes, are included.
When's this coming out? This soon?
Revel in the intensity of Ninja Gaiden in one dynamic collection. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection slices its way onto Nintendo Switch
A lot of-
summer
yeah, okay.
2021.
Okay. They are loading up the summer pretty well right now.
More
Age of
battles are
Calamity.
coming to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Some DLC for it. I mean, it's the best-selling Warriors game, so it makes sense why they do DLC for it. expansion pass. So it's going to be a couple of... Hold on. 28th. New added weapon. Expanded roster. Oh. Go back and look at that one. Okay.
There's even more
they moved
coming
right
to
past
Nintendo
that.
Switch.
Jeez. That was quick.
Bravely Default 2 is almost here. 4 Heroes of
Next
Light
week?
will soon embark on a journey to restore the crystals.
Next week.
Use the job system to develop your characters and master the Brave and Default commands to emerge victorious in turn-based battles.
I live to fight.
Veterans and newcomers to the series can enjoy this brand new story on February 26th. A new trailer for Bravely Default 2 will be revealed following this presentation. The game can be pre-ordered on Nintendo eShop. An updated demo is also available. The latest installment in the legendary Ghosts
out next
and
week,
Goblins
too.
series comes to life. As the
This
brave
is gonna
knight
annoy some
Arthur,
people pretty
you'll
bad.
unleash weapons, spells, and skills to battle monsters across challenging stages within the demon realm. Local co-op
Although-
play is also available for the first time.
We're very
Help
used to
Arthur in
Dark
his
Souls
quest
style
with one of
games
3
now,
supporting
so-
characters. Barry for defense, Carrie for transportation, or Archie for bridges. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection launches February 25th. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop. 8 protagonists, 8 captivating
Saga Frontier.
journeys. Saga Frontier
That
has
was an
been
April game.
remastered for Nintendo
It's been
Switch.
a lot of, like,
Travel
May
through a
and
stunning
June, right?
Sci-fi world with any of the protagonists.
Oh,
each with
Shadow
their own
drops
stories.
yet?
With the addition of the playable protagonist Fuse,
Shadow Drop
new
Republic
gameplay
Commando.
features, exhilarating battles, and a new scenario for the protagonist Acellus. Saga Frontier Remastered is an adventure not to be missed. The game launches April 15th. Apex Legends is storming onto the Nintendo Switch system. This free-to-play battle royale features a growing roster of powerful contenders named Legends, strategic combat, cross-platform play, and more. All players on Nintendo Switch can get an all-new legendary Pathfinder skin and 30 free levels for the Season 8 Mayhem Battle Pass. Plus, for the first 2 weeks after launch, earn double XP when you play on Nintendo Switch. Fight for fortune, fame, and glory when Apex Legends enters the fray March 9th.
How's it going so far? There's still a little bit more to show you in today's Nintendo Direct, so we hope you'll stick with us. Next, please take a look at this.
Hello there.
All right.
I'm Eiji Aonuma, producer of the
Zelda
Legend
stuff.
of
Here we
Zelda
go.
series. I'm sure a lot of you saw me and thought there might be news about the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to share right now. We apologize. Development is proceeding smoothly, and we should be able to bring you some new information this year. For now, we'll have to ask you to wait just a bit longer. While you're all waiting, however, this Legend of Zelda game will be coming to Nintendo Switch. Please take a look.
Here we go. Okay, what we got? Skyward Sword. What do you think? Yep. Okay. Okay. All right. So they have to show how they take the motion. I hope they show how to take the motion controls out. That is going to be an interesting thing to deal with a Joy-Con. Okay. I wonder if this is coming out in, like, the summer? Yeah, this game's going to sell really, really well. Skyward Sword. It gets a second chance on the Switch. That's good. Just without the motion controls.
What you've just seen is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This game originally released in 2011 on the Wii console, and now it's coming to Nintendo Switch. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword featured a control scheme in which players would use the Wii Remote Plus controller as a sword and the Nunchuck controller as a shield. With the increased processing power of the Nintendo Switch system, the controls here are smoother and even more intuitive.
Oh no.
And we've recreated the controls for the sword and the shield here by having the player hold 2 Joy-Con controllers. The Joy-Con controller in your right hand is the sword.
Oh no.
Swing it to have Link swing his sword in the game. The Joy-Con controller in your left hand is the shield. By lifting the controller, you can raise the shield to block enemy attacks. You can perform other actions like using both controllers to wield a bow and arrow. These physical movements add a sense of urgency and tension to combat. But we've also made it possible to play the game with button controls to ensure it can be played in handheld mode or on the Nintendo Switch Lite system.
Okay,
After
good.
mulling over how to assign different gameplay elements to different buttons, we decided to apply the sword motions to tilting the right control stick.
Okay, that's fine.
Tilt the stick down when you want to swing the sword downward. To swing to the right,
okay,
to the
I think
left,
you get used to that.
Or diagonally, just tilt the stick in the respective
It's kind of like
direction.
when you were playing like Metal Gear Rising and you go into the mode where you got to swing the sword
Here's
around.
something else we've been working on.
Okay.
Specially designed Joy-Con controllers. The right Joy-Con controller is themed after the Master Sword, while the left features a Hylian shield motif. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword,
Those are already
as the
sold
game
out.
depicting the earliest story in the Legend of Zelda timeline, details
look
the
pretty
events
good.
around the creation of the Master Sword itself. We hope that people who played the original game on Wii and those playing it for the first time will enjoy discovering the origins of The Legend of Zelda.
Those Joy-Cons look pretty good.
The
July
Legend of
16th.
Zelda
Okay.
Skyward Sword HD launches July 16th.
So that
Following
makes sense.
this Nintendo Direct, you'll be able to pre-order the game on
Oh,
Nintendo
I
eShop.
thought about to say a demo or
and
something.
the specially designed Joy-Con controllers will
Oh,
launch
the-
on the game's release date at your
Even the
local
box
retailers.
art looks good.
Many of you may
Ooh.
already know this, but The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was the last original console game prior to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game, and it was still following the established conventions of The Legend of Zelda. However, it gave a glimpse into many features and innovations that would eventually be adopted in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Using the sailcloth to descend in midair, a stamina gauge that depleted as you scaled walls with vines or ran. Even the concept of
I'm
collecting
excited to
items
play this
upgrade
again
gear.
and be able to play it without the
I
need for
hope
motion
those of you
controls
who've
is good.
played The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will give this game a try as well.
Yep, I will be playing through it again.
Please look forward to The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD.
Well, what did you think? The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword has been optimized for Nintendo Switch. It includes intuitive motion controls and button controls by tilting the right control stick. Okay, the next game will be our last announcement for today. Please take a look at this.
Splatoon. I wonder if it's like their... Because there was rumors about them doing like a single-player style game. I like how it said not actual gameplay, and then they go through like it's gameplay. I wonder if this DLC or a full game on its own. Yeah, is it like Borderlands? Splatoon and Borderlands. Yeah, I mean... Splatoon 3. I mean, that's a big announcement. I'm actually surprised they didn't save Splatoon 3 for the next Switch and just like build on top of Switch 2 the entire generation. But, I mean, that's big. 2022. So how do they... I'm curious how they're going to make that feel different from Splatoon 2 overall.
What you've just seen is the latest installment in the Splatoon series, Splatoon 3. This game is scheduled to launch in 2022, so it'll be a while. We hope you'll stay tuned for more information at a later time. Today, we showed you a sampling of games coming to Nintendo Switch. A variety of games are in development. And we look forward to sharing more news with you in the future. That's all for today's Nintendo Direct. Thank you for watching.
Okay, well, there we go. Okay, so let's see what everyone think of the Direct overall. I think they put in more games than they probably had to when it comes to like smaller third-party style games. And coming from their first parties, what they had just off time Mario Golf. That one looked good. Mario Golf did. And obviously Zelda, Skyward Sword. I think Splatoon 3 was very, very big for a lot of people as an announcement at the end. Otherwise, though, it didn't have any like massive, I guess, announcement in the middle or anything that people would be talking about. They had Smash characters, or Smash character, that's technically 2, to start off with. I'm a little surprised that, and they had No More Heroes 3. That got dated later on than I thought in the year. I thought that was going to be like at the end of 2020. So I was a little surprised that it basically hasn't come out till August. Splatoon 3 isn't until 2022. That could be like earlier in 2022. That could be like a full year away. Maybe a little more. I'm a little surprised they finished with that one though, because that's just still so far off. They probably could have saved that towards the end of the year to show. But Skyward Sword HD, I'm very happy that they figured out how to make that work without motion controls. Because I think it would have been, when they started showing motion controls for it, I got a little concerned that that's the way it was going to be, which is something that ended up turning some people off over time when it came to like the game itself. But they didn't have any massive game to really show. And it's interesting because it was a 50-minute Direct, and it felt like a lot of times we'll watch a Direct and it'll feel like it goes by very quickly. This one actually felt like it was dragging for a while there, and I think it's just because some of the games didn't look like you'd expect them to be in a Direct necessarily. You know, it almost looks like they had 2 minis almost ready to go, or a mini and a half, and they're like, I'll just put it together and call it a Direct, kind of. Like, it's Mario Golf is cool. Like, that'll be a really fun game. I like the Mario Golf series a lot. But we didn't have, like, I thought they might show Breath of the Wild 2 just as an example, just to at least show where it's going. Metroid, anything like that. Nothing. Pokemon won't be shown until next week. I think there'll be a Pokemon Direct next week. Ethan says, I came into this only wanting Republic Commando. I didn't even get that set. Maybe they're just going to drop that on Twitter. I'm actually surprised they didn't have that for this Direct, especially with the stuff they did show. Surprised Republic Commando wasn't one of them. Still Alive says, decent, not a whole lot of spring releases, though, especially April. Excited for that Tactics game. Mario Golf, Skyward Sword, HD. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, that's the other thing that caught me off guard. A lot of stuff they showed us was later in the year than I thought. Like, I was kind of thinking they might have more things ready to go for April or May, but a lot of it was just stuff in June and beyond. So that was a little strange to see how much wasn't coming out in the next like 2 or 3 months or so. But Mario Golf would be cool. Skyward Sword HD, that's coming out in July. The Joy-Cons look good. It's just getting those Joy-Cons, I feel like, is going to be annoying. EA surprisingly showed up with support in this Direct, even though I looked at it and I'm like, I guess it didn't really look like anything that grabbed me right away with the dodgeball game. Not even Shin Megami. Yeah, that's true. Shin Megami wasn't there. It seems like they could have had more and they didn't. But I do think they'll most likely have a Direct in like June or July or something just to work to set up the back half of this year, especially with their holiday game. Nothing Zelda. Yeah, no Zelda 35 yet. That is probably going to be a big part of their next Direct. I think Skyward Sword, they couldn't hold that off until, let's say, a June Direct because then it would be coming out in a month. So they had to show that here because technically it's out in 5 months. So they want to get the marketing ready for that. No Metroid. Yeah, hey, there's always next time, I guess, for Metroid, right? Breath of the Wild 2, I still think Breath of the Wild 2 is possible for this year, but it could also end up in like March of 2022, you know, just around the time that the first one came out. Still working it into their fiscal year. So I think for the most part, it was pretty mid-direct overall, all things considered, looking at it. Skyward Sword being one of the highlights, No More Heroes 3, Mario Golf, and that Octopath game that has a demo out. That's the other thing. There was no real shadow drops. The demo, I guess, was the shadow drop for the tactical Octopath game, which I will check out because I think that looked good. I like the old school tactics style games like Final Fantasy Tactics, so I'll be checking that one out. Ryan says, why do you think Fallout 3 or New Vegas isn't on Switch yet? You got me. New Vegas seems like a slam dunk on the Switch. It's very strange they haven't done that yet. Trom Vita says, pretty underwhelming considering it's been 500 plus days. Too much small stuff. Could have been shaved to about 35 minutes. What was that DC game? Yeah, that's kind of my thought. It's almost like they had like a mini and a half, or like a mini and maybe like an indie showcase or a partner showcase. And they're like, let's just slap it together. That should be enough. And it did feel longer than it should have been, kind of. You're right. It probably could have been shaved down. Kai says the Japanese audience and Western audience opinions on Nintendo Direct are complete opposite. I was reading the Japanese chat and tweets, and they were really happy, whereas we were just meh. Yeah, it was a lot of games that were certainly geared more towards the Japanese audience, I'll say. But some of the games looked pretty good. They just didn't have, like, a lot of us are wondering really now, where's Bayonetta 3? Like, you know, that's one that I thought could have had a good chance of being shown here. Metroid's also very Western focused. As an example, if they showed a lot of Metroid, I feel like the Japanese audience would have been as excited about that, whereas we would be excited for it. So it was an interesting selection of games, we'll say, for the Direct. I do think Skyward Sword HD is that's a pretty big one to have announced there, but it was just a very average Direct, I would say. David says everyone watched for Zelda 35th and they announced the worst one of the whole series. Just gross. Why do they treat Zelda so poorly compared to Mario? They're going to have a lot more Zelda stuff this year. They'll have I'm pretty confident have a collection and some other things. I'm also surprised they didn't do anything with Nintendo Switch Online. It's something Nintendo seems to have a harder time with compared to the other two companies. Is driving subscription sales for their online service, despite it being $20. You figure they would have announced something with a new system. But I was very happy to see Mario Golf have that RPG mode basically for the single player. I kind of felt like they might skip out on it and make it like the Wii U game wasn't very good. It felt like it was lacking a lot of features. So I was happy to see that they added that in. So it feels more like the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy Advance version of Mario Golf, which is good. We'll see how robust that overall single player is, though. Line says Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. That is a good one as well. I think a lot of people who have a Switch now have probably never played Ninja Gaiden, so that's a good collection to have there. But yeah, very, very mid-direct, I would say, overall, for the most part. Fall Guys is happening in the summertime. I guess that kind of tells us when the overall deal with Sony, how long that was. That would have been a good one for Nintendo to maybe put some money behind and just drop it on Nintendo Switch Online. I think that would have been a really good idea to do that. I'm curious of people's reactions to the Smash character, Pyra and Mythra. I'm curious if people, like, because I feel like a lot of people in the chat aren't even talking about them, but that was like a Smash character reveal, and I just don't really see a lot of people mentioning them, which is interesting, because usually when there's a Smash character, people get super hyped about it. Hell Bundy says $6 for Skyward Sword. I don't think so, but the Joy-Con are a day one pickup if you can find them. I completely expect to have those sold out everywhere. It's Zelda related. They'll go up on eBay for probably like $150, and it'll be a whole thing. That might actually be an accessory to pre-order. James says, I think we all need to understand that COVID will be responsible for screwing up 2021 on top of 2020. There's a lot of remote work still going on at all these companies, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. And that kind of shows in their release schedule. Like, if you look at Microsoft, they really don't have a lot. Sony, their year starts in June. I mean, they have Returnal, but their year really starts in June with Ratchet. So after seeing that card really pop up at the beginning of this Direct, yeah, it's pretty obvious that COVID is still affecting a lot of game development right now. Elon says, where is Silk Song? I think they mentioned before that it wasn't going to be here just before the Direct happened. So, yeah, that's... Silk Song is... I mean, look, Silk Song's made by Team Cherry, and there's, what, like 3 or 4 people working on it or something? So, I mean, the game will be fun whenever it is ready, but it just takes them a little bit of time to get that done. Lewis says, my wallet was ready, but realistically, I'm only excited for No More Heroes and Zelda. Guess we're not getting a Zelda collection now. I think people are expecting that was all the Zelda 35 stuff, and no, I would expect more stuff to pop up, because I think a lot of people are back on this thought of Nintendo Directs will happen once a year. I think we'll have another one in June. You know what? We'll have another Direct next week, I think, with Pokemon. But I think we'll have another Direct in June, most likely, to set up their holiday, which will include probably a Zelda collection. People thought Prime 4 would be here, clearly aren't paying attention. Kind of sad, Andrew. Metroid 2D, there's a 2D Metroid that's apparently in development, and then the Prime Trilogy has been done for quite a while, apparently, and Nintendo's holding it to spite me. So there you go. TMR says, this is a good day. Greetings from Denmark. Peter says, Breath of the Wild 2022, Bayonetta 2022, Metroid Prime 2023. There is a good chance at this point that Metroid Prime 4 doesn't come out until, like, we're done this generation, and it's like a cross-gen game. You know, that's kind of what I'm almost thinking now. Like, let's say we get into 2023 and because by 2023, I think most of us are going to be thinking, okay, what's next for Nintendo? What's the next system? Because that'll be 6 years. You know, you start to get into that 7th year and you're like, I mean, we're going to start talking about, you know, hardware again, right? So maybe that's how they line up Metroid Prime 4, because we haven't heard a hint about how that's going to go down. Sean says, bet that Monster Hunter Switch gets scalped just as bad as the PS5. Yeah, I think that Monster Hunter Switch is going to be super popular, specifically in Japan. Switch systems already get scalped in Japan quite a bit. So I think that one will be out of control there, because Monster Hunter is going to set some records in Japan when that launches on the Switch next month. And then we have S. Blankston. Says, Breath of the Wild 2 definitely coming out next year. Metroid Prime Trilogy needs to get released already. And where's Bayo 3? Asking the real questions there, because they can drop Metroid Prime Trilogy at any time, because we've had the Bayonetta collection for a while now, right? So, I mean, I think it's time to drop the Prime Trilogy. Tariq with $1 there. I had to start up my Wii U to play the Metroid Prime Trilogy, okay? That's how far we've gone. Roberto says, where is Earthbound? That's a good question, too. Drop Earthbound on the Nintendo Switch Online. Scylla says, I wonder if their sparse announcements have to do with March 31st. Seems like they want to cap off this quarter's earnings while inflating the next. That's actually a good point. Once their next fiscal year starts, maybe they'll do more announcements. I mean, they have to get rid of Mario first, right? They got to take him out. And Noise says, why golf? I'd rather have a new Strikers. I would rather have a new Strikers as well, but I think realistically speaking, the Mario Golf is probably more popular, but I do like Strikers more. But there were a lot of rumors going around about another golf game, and the fact that they didn't seemingly so far like just put out a very basic one because they have a single player that has like RPG mechanics is interesting to me compared to what I was expecting them to put out. I'll say that. Liam says, soon Smash can't carry these directs anymore. Well, there's 2 characters left, and they both have to be revealed by the end of this year, right? Because that's when the pass is done. So what do? You put Sora in, and then the last character should just be Sakurai. Sakurai should put himself in the game. Be like, yeah, I'm the last character. And Paulie G with a $1 there. And Marvin says, no news / updates on Nintendo Online. Adding a legacy system to it and showcasing it in this direct would have been great. The recent games were not good. That is correct. I think they should have put Game Boy, or they should have put Nintendo 64 in here. Tariq says, but where is the Dino Crisis remaster? Capcom is weird with that whole franchise. They should have dropped that in the RE Engine already. Paul says, no MLB The Show on Switch. Now Google Stadia looks good. MLB The Show will probably end up on the Switch in their next iteration, is my thought there. Or it'll be a delayed release, which would be strange for a yearly sports title. I think MLB The Show will happen next year. So MLB The Show 22. David says, N64 Classic, please. N64 Classic would be really cool. America says, sad that forgettable characters are being brought to Smash roster just to pump sales for other less popular titles. You know, I will say those characters were certainly unexpected based on the characters that people were mentioning. That one was it's interesting to put them in, considering Rex is a costume, right? A Mii Fighter costume. So it's interesting that they went that route. D-Link says, Age of Calamity expansion pass. I'll take it. Yeah, they flashed that card up very quickly. I'm going to go back and look at exactly what was in there. But it looked like when you buy the expansion pass, a bunch of stuff or like 2 items get unlocked. And then you have like a whole roadmap of stuff to grab from there. Nathan says, me gets worked up when I saw, oh yeah, Al Numa, no Breath of the Wild 2. I know. I was thinking he was going to show up on screen to start talking Breath of the Wild 2 for a minute, but he did bring some Zelda stuff with him. So Matthew Green, I'm over the moon. I get to play another Zelda game, Breath of the Wild and Link's Awakening, were my first Breath of the Wild 2 launch with Pro. Yeah, I mean, if you have not played Skyward Sword, I think with what they're doing here with remapping motion to the stick, it'll probably be, I think, better. But you also have the option to try it out like we did on the Wii back in the day. But Skyward Sword is good. Just people, I don't know, some people just didn't like the game. I thought it was good. It's just the motion controls just didn't click with me like I think Nintendo wanted it to. Casey says, Batman Arkham Asylum collection, where are you at? Why wouldn't they? You know what? It seems like easy money. It took this long to get the Ninja Gaiden trilogy on there, which should be good, although we are going to be using Joy-Cons. That's one I would use the Pro Controller with, but those Joy-Cons about to get the business in that game. Josh says, Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door Remake or Conker's Bad Fur Day 2 on Switch plus Smash. You're a lot of wishing going on there. 1,000 Year Door Remake would be cool. 515 says, just want a Zelda Switch. Please, Nintendo. They laid the tease there with the Joy-Cons, didn't they? I think if Breath of the Wild 2 makes its way out in the next fiscal year, they will absolutely have some sort of Switch, whether it's the standard Switch or a Lite. Nintendo keeps doing this thing with Switch Lites, so maybe that's what they do. But there will be, I'm sure, some sort of collector's edition Switch to pick up for Breath of the Wild 2. I think that's almost a certainty at this point. Anthony says, Ninja Gaiden Collection opens doors for Ryu and Smash. I mean, Ryu's been on a Nintendo platform before, but I think now he's more familiar. He's going to be more familiar to people ahead of maybe the next Smash reveal, and they already decided on these characters a while ago. Nintendo did, so maybe they had this release in mind to go along with it. It's possible. I think Ryu would be pretty cool in Smash, although people don't really like sword fighters as much anymore, unless it's Sephiroth or Sora or Ryu. Any of the popular characters, basically. But I think that's going to do it here. So I'm going to head out, get some stuff ready for Newswave tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, for joining here. Really appreciate it. It wasn't the over-the-top hype direct I think a lot of us were hoping for. But you know what? It is good to see directs are back and they're not a thing of the past, as people were assuming it to be. And we'll see what Nintendo has for us next week with Pokemon, maybe? That's what I'm thinking. So look out for that. But thanks, everyone, for stopping by. I'll see you guys later on, actually tomorrow morning for Newswave.